I know that you don't know me, but I'm sick, and you could help me.
In a fog, a cloud.
In a deep, dark depression for about the first 6 months.
Nausea.
I'm feeling scared.
Cramping.
Some days I come home, I'm sick.
And I'm feeling pain.
Frightened.
I'm in the bed all day.
Blood
I feel like
pressure.
I'm a burden on
My mouth tired, I can't even chew to eat.
That's hard.
Not just that,
Vomiting.
but just existing. You understand? Just existing from day to day.
This is our wait list for a kidney transplant. About 90,000 people, and at the current rate, more than half of them will have died or will still be waiting for someone else to die 5 years from now. It's a pretty disturbing thought, waiting for someone else to die so that they can live. But that has been the only realistic choice for most patients. And the problem is only getting worse. Here are deceased donor transplants per year since the 1990s, far short than the 90,000 on the list. And while multiple advancements in deceased donation are saving lives,
all the things that you can think of, changing our system will help incrementally, but they will not solve the problem.
not even close. But to help you understand, let's say someone dies. If they die in a suitable way, usually by brain death, and if their body is reached by first responders in time to bring them back to the hospital and keep their blood circulating, a frantic race unlike any other begins. The hospital contacts the local organ procurement organization, which sends a counselor to meet the next of kin. And if the patient is a registered donor, then the family will be informed. But otherwise, only with the family's permission will the OPO scramble to find a match. The transplant centers representing the top potential recipients are alerted, and in order, each has an hour to either accept or reject the organ before the OPO continues down the list. If the organ is accepted by a transplant center, on a moment's notice, one patient, sometimes two as a backup, are rushed to the hospital, both who think this could finally be their lucky day. A final blood draw is done to verify the match, taking another 2 to 3 hours. Of course, while all this is going on, the potential donor, who, by the way, is often in another state, could be crashing. Now they're rushed into surgery to save the organs, or worse, our kidneys out of the body with no one yet to give it to. Please register to donate because deceased donation saves thousands of lives. And right now, it's our only option for most organs. But its inherent challenges are because it's unplanned, frequently happening in the middle of the night, often involving transit and plane flights, with kidneys on ice for up to 2 days, often leading to poorer outcomes. And of course, this is all overseen by a group of 56 organ procurement organizations, which can only do their job, again, if someone dies in a suitable way and they're found in time. And in comparison to all of this, the logistics of living donation. Even though living donation is safe, completely planned, scheduled at a convenient time, with kidneys that last on average twice as long as those from deceased donors, and it allows patients to stop waiting for someone else to die. We haven't prioritized it. Over the last 2 decades, living donation has actually gone down. And that's despite our population increasing by 43 million people. And this all perpetuates a myth that there is a shortage of organs. Our potential donor pool of 258 million adults in the United States. Just for argument's sake, let's remove those over the age of 65, then the 40% that are obese. The question then becomes, how many of the remaining would donate a kidney if they knew there was a need? And as it turns out, a 2019 study by the US Department of Health looked at this very thing. It found that 86% of respondents would donate to a family member. 54% would donate to an acquaintance. and 45% would donate to a stranger. But again, just for argument's sake, let's say that the study is totally flawed, and after learning more, we learned that only 1% would donate to a stranger. That 1%, which assumes only strangers can donate, would still leave us with 6 times the potential donors we'd need to transplant the entire wait list. What this tells us is that there isn't a shortage of organs. There's a shortage of people who know there's a need.
The last few weeks, I've been in and out of surgery.
The problem is that the people in need don't have the ability to reach out to the people who would donate. And yet that's exactly what we expect of them.
I can hardly breathe. I can hardly move. I can't even eat without losing my breath.
Think about how hard it is to find a new job, the endless hours of writing cover letters, the emotional and mental toll. But now, imagine trying to do that when you're chronically sick, with no clear place on even where to begin, and instead of a job, asking someone to go through surgery after you've already been rejected by your closest family and friends.
Something has to change. I need a donor. I need one now.
Now throw in that over half of dialysis patients are over the age of 64 and often lack basic computer and web skills. You could argue that the odds of a patient having the energy, mindset, and skills to do all of this is less likely than getting a deceased donor. And the numbers show. But is it possible that we're thinking about this all wrong? That we've limited ourselves to applying a medical solution to a problem that medicine alone can't solve? We live in a country where brands spend millions to get their stories out, but we do nothing to give patients a voice until now. Let's start off by saying that this isn't my team or anybody else's team. This is your team, and everything is going to be approved by you. You're the boss. In January of 2023, we started a social experiment we call Another Chance. Like the marketing wing of a company, we ran pro bono campaigns for patients in need of a donor. The premise: if patients could share their story, would potential donors step forward? We produced media.
I would be so grateful if you shared my story.
And instead of paying for advertising, we mobilized their closest family and friends, people we call advocates, to help share their story. And it turns out, if you're organized and given a voice, a story can spread far. Compared to those that didn't have help, the difference in views and people who clicked to learn more about donating was stark. In the end, not only were lives saved, but we learned a ton along the way. Most notably, some patients will have few to no advocates. So we built a system which allows people who don't know the person in need, who we call angel advocates, to share their story with a simple click once a week. And once that person is transplanted, we can then redistribute that support to other patients. We need your help. We started a first-of-its-kind trial at multiple transplant centers across the country. This won't happen overnight, but for the first time ever, we have the opportunity to usher in a new model.
Which isn't predicated on waiting for someone else to die.
We know that if made aware, people find the courage and heart to give the gift of life, even to a stranger. This is our chance to band together and use our collective voice, save the lives of those in need, and cut into the nation's wait list like nothing ever has. Please join us and be an angel.